Well, ladies and gentlemen, I gotta say, it's been quite a ride with this one over here. This has been an absolute whirlwind of a last, how long have we been together? 6 years?
6.5.
6.5 years, going on 6.5 years we've been together. And you know what? These have been the absolute best 6.5 years of my life. Guys, over the last year or so, ever since our engagement, we've gotten endless comments, both in our live streams and in videos. When are you guys getting married? What are the details? We need the details. You guys have been asking for it. And today we are here to finally share with you guys some details, not every detail, but some details of our upcoming wedding. I'm very excited for this. I am super excited to be sharing all these details with you guys, and of course for the wedding itself, because I'm about to marry my best friend. Let's get right into it with a little bit of a backstory on our relationship, because we've shared the backstory of our relationship plenty of times through live streams, but never really on camera, I don't think. You know, a lot of folks out there, a lot of viewers, they don't get the opportunity to come into live streams, and sometimes they don't get to watch the replays. So brief history on our relationship. We met back in 2015 when I was in the Disney College program. I was working at Splash Mountain, and that was when I was first introduced to Dakota. And we met through a mutual friend, right? Was he your boyfriend at the time? He was your boyfriend at the time. So yeah, she had a boyfriend and he was friends with me. We weren't like best friends, but we were friends. You know, we went to high school together, and that was when we first officially met. And it was just that 1 or 2 days, like we had seen each other like once or twice when we were on the college program, right?
Yeah, just a couple times.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy.
Just a couple of times. And then after my college program concluded in 2015, I moved away to South Carolina, and then I moved back. And that was when we kind of reconnected in a way, because I had just ended a serious relationship in 2017, and that was when we really started connecting, where I started working at Howl-O-Scream, and it just so happened that Dakota was working at Howl-O-Scream as well, and our break rooms were kind of very close together, right? We had to clock in at the same area, and so we had found each other there, and that's when we started reconnecting. We started talking to each other, and that's when we really became friends, because before, when we first met in 2015, we weren't like really friends or anything. We were just acquaintances. Later on in the year, in 2017, Coda got out of her very serious relationship, and that's when we really started getting close. We were both out of very serious relationships, and we were both kind of sharing in that trauma, I guess you can say. It was, kind of a bad time for the both of us, and we both kind of bonded over ending our relationships. And in 2018, in January of 2018, is when we had our first date. That was when I first decided to ask Coda out, and it took a couple tries.
Yep.
Right?
That did.
It took a couple tries, and Dakota finally said yes. That was the start of something very beautiful. Moving on a little bit further down, 2020 was the next big significant milestone in our relationship, because that was when we moved in together. The pandemic was just starting to become a really big deal in the United States, and my parents were in the process of building this house on the opposite side of their big property, and they decided to invite Coda and say, hey, if you guys want to move into this house, it's yours, and Dakota can live here. The pandemic is going to be shutting things down. We want you guys to be closer together. So we have my parents to thank for really, pushing us to live together. And the pandemic, as unfortunate as it was, there were a lot of bad things to come out of the pandemic, but that was one of the good things. In 2021, another big step in our relationship is when we decided to take our first Disney cruise. We were actually on the very first cruise to come back into service after the pandemic closure. That very first cruise on the Disney Dream was in 2021. I feel like after that is when we were both like really hooked on cruising, especially with Disney Cruise Line. Like, the service is just unmatched on Disney Cruise Line. We absolutely love it. So Disney Cruise Line has kind of become a big part of our relationship and a big part of the channel, as you guys can clearly see. Moving forward a little bit more in 2023, we finally got engaged. We went on an Alaskan Disney cruise. It was my second Alaskan Disney cruise, her first, and I decided to pop the question to her in Skagway, Alaska. And what a magical moment. What a magical moment in a magical place. Like, I feel like that place is gonna be like our spot. Like, I don't envision anyone else really going to that specific location to do a proposal. Finding it, first of all, like, we never like disclosed where that location was, and I feel like that's gonna be like our spot for pretty much ever. Like, I don't envision anyone else going to that spot to propose. But yeah, what a magical time in 2023. And now here we are in 2024 in the thick of our wedding planning. Let's go ahead and share more details on the wedding now that you guys have some backstory on our relationship. From the very beginning, when we first started planning our wedding, we knew that we wanted Disney to be a part of it in some way, shape, or form, whether we just incorporate it in the decorations or, you know, in some of the music. If at all possible, we of course really wanted to do it on Disney property if we could afford it. And we knew that it was kind of going to be a long shot to do it on Disney property. But Coda and I, we decided to go to the Grand Floridian to one of their, what was it, an open house?
Yeah, the Wedding Pavilion's open house.
Wedding Pavilion's open house. And we started walking around, we started getting an idea for things. They, you know, showed out different decorations and different kind of packages, things that they could do. And then we got hit with the price. And ouch. Needless to say, getting married on Disney property was pretty much well out of our budget. And, you know, we were kind of disappointed in that, but we were determined to still make something work as far as getting married with Disney involved in some way, shape, or form. And it wasn't too far after that where we really discovered how affordable a Disney Cruise Line wedding could be. And that's when the gears really started turning in both of our heads, and we started doing some more research, and we said, oh God, a Disney Cruise Line wedding might be the way to go. So guys, we're very excited to announce that we are having a Disney Cruise Line wedding. And babe, what ship are we getting married on?
The Disney Wish.
The Disney Wish. We are tying the knot on the Disney Wish. Now, I know what you guys are saying. Some of you guys are probably already typing away in the comment section, but Adrian, you hate the Disney Wish. I don't hate it. I don't despise it. Granted, it is not my favorite Disney ship, but it has grown on me a lot. It has grown on me a lot because we sailed on it 3 times, and the first time I was like, eh. Second time I was like, eh, okay. Third time, it grew on me, and I do like the ship. I do like the ship. Granted, it's still the lowest ranked Disney ship, but it's not bad. It's the prettiest ship. It is the brightest ship, and it offers some of the best photo opportunities as far as weddings are concerned. Just walking around, you can look at different places and be like, yeah, that's a great place to take, you know, pictures for a wedding, or, you know, just of her in her wedding gown against a nice white background, you know, something like that. It was the prettiest ship, and it was kind of a no-brainer to get married on the Disney Wish. Even though the Disney Fantasy is my personal favorite ship, you know, we had started looking at wedding pictures of people who had gotten married on the other Disney ships versus the Disney Wish. The Disney Wish is very pretty for getting married and for taking photos. So we decided to book it. And again, we were pretty surprised at just how affordable it was compared to a Disney wedding on land. And the options that were available to us for the Disney Wish were outside of Palo, so kind of out on the deck. It's not like the open deck, but it is out in an open area near Palo. We had the atrium in Castaway Cay. Now, right off the bat, when Coda heard Castaway Cay, she said that Castaway Cay was out of the question, not a venue. Why is that?
The dock, it's like a reddish color, right?
It is.
It's like a reddish chipped paint. Needs some TLC. Needs to maybe just be redone. And then next to it is that Pelican Point barn looking thing that's also red and
it's like a
ugly.
big bar.
It's gross.
And
I don't like it.
It has a pelican on the side, right?
It's got a big pelican.
It's got a big pelican.
It's not
on
a
the
pelican,
side.
it's a seagull. I don't want sand. I know we're gonna take pictures on Castaway.
We are.
But day of, I don't want sand. I don't want to be outside. I don't want to be sweaty.
It's gonna be hot.
It's already gonna be hot.
it's already gonna be really hot. And I said that I wanted to minimize my possibility of sweating, if at all possible. Like I just wanted to bare minimum, no sweating for me. And yeah, so Castaway Cay just from there was out of the picture. Now granted, on Castaway Cay you have the choice of two different locations. You have the dock on Pelican Point, and then you have like kind of in the sand off to the side of Pelican Point with the family beach in the back. It's still right there. You have the family beach in the background. I mean, granted, you know, you have the ship in the background, and that's really pretty for pictures, but with everything else, it just wasn't really a vibe for me and Coda, you know, especially for the time of year that we're eyeing for getting married. It just wasn't it. So we decided to get married in the atrium of the Disney Wish. Now, you can get married in two specific spots in the atrium. You can get married by the staircase in the atrium, or you can get married on that little stage that is on the opposite side of the room. That is where we are going to get married. And they can pull the curtains back, and there is a nice picturesque backdrop.
Literal picturesque backdrop of Cinderella's castle. You can see it.
So when we were doing, when we went to the open house of the Grand Floridian in the wedding pavilion, you know, when you're on the monorail, when you're on the, like, I think it's the resort monorail or express monorail, there's a message that says couples can tie the knot in the wedding pavilion, complete with a picturesque backdrop of Cinderella Castle. Literally almost every picture that you look at from the wedding pavilion, you can't see the castle. It's either this big or it's way too overexposed during the day that the castle's just not there, period. Because you're trying to get the couple in focus. And it's almost impossible to get the picture of the castle in the background. And if you do see it, it's this small. It's this small.
While we were at the wedding pavilion, like he was like, but I can see it. And I was like, but what if you're sitting over here? What if you're sitting over, move this way 2 inches. You can't see it.
And on top of that, there's like a tree in the way now. There's
tree.
like off in the distance, there's a large tree that is in the way, obscuring most of the castle from the wedding pavilion.
It's the top spire. That's it.
And I feel like Disney really needs to address that.
Stop saying it's a picturesque. Just drop that line.
Yeah, so I mean, once we saw the backdrop on the Disney Wish and like Cinderella Castle right there, I mean, granted, it's not the, you know, real life Cinderella Castle that we have, it's the movie version, but it's still, Cinderella Castle is right there and we can see it. So that was really the biggest deciding factor for us as far as picking that specific spot in the atrium. Let's go ahead and talk about the cost. We spoke about how it was the most affordable. I, of course, say that really loosely, but, you know, affordable in wedding terms, I feel like this is kind of a steal in wedding terms, you know, because we could have made it more expensive. We could have also made it less expensive. So on top of the cruise fare that we paid for our room, we're staying in a family ocean view room with veranda. So just a step below concierge. That room was about $3,000 for our cruise. And then on top of that, you pay for the wedding package. Now, the wedding package that we have is in the atrium, which is considered a premium version. The atrium and Castaway Cay are considered premium wedding packages. So to be in the atrium, like base level, $5,000. And that includes the ceremony, that includes the reception, that includes a cake, that includes flowers, that includes, does it include a musician?
Yep, the pianist.
It includes a pianist.
The officiant.
The officiant.
Flowers.
I did say flowers.
Champagne.
Champagne. It includes champagne.
Dress steaming.
Dress steaming.
Tux too.
Tux too. It includes a hair and makeup appointment. No, it doesn't? I misspoke. Never mind. So it doesn't include hair and makeup appointment. I could have swore it did.
No, it has where you can, before normal guests book, it has where the bride and 3 guests can get their hair and makeup done. You can make those appointments before normal guests can.
Oh, so that's the only perk. It doesn't include the appointment itself. It's just getting you the opportunity to make the appointment early. Yep. Okay. I mean,
or at least that's the way I read it.
Yeah. Clearly, we both had different interpretations of it, but that will all be covered in a later video, which, by the way, if you guys want us to make another video going into more detail, into greater detail of what it's like to plan a Disney Cruise Line wedding, leave a like on this video. If this video hits 800 likes, we'll make sure to make another video dedicated to talking about a Disney Cruise Line wedding and what all planning goes into it and what you need to pick and choose.
It includes Palo.
Oh yeah, it does include dinner at Palo as well. That's actually really nice.
For whichever night you want.
Whichever night you want. So we have a bunch of friends, we have a bunch of family that's going to be attending the wedding. All the invites have been not really sent, they kind of been metaphorically sent. Everybody who we want to have on this cruise has been invited. They've already booked, and we're gonna be sending out physical invites relatively soon. And I feel like that's really it right now. We don't have any concrete plans yet as far as a honeymoon. That's a completely separate topic of discussion, a completely separate video. That's something that we've begun considering, but we haven't like really made any big plans yet as far as honeymoon. We have a list of different possibilities. I think the only thing left to share is, when are we getting married, baby?
Well, the boat leaves May 12th, and you can't get married at sea.
Cannot get married at sea, unfortunately.
Which is what I wanted.
We have to get married at the Port of Nassau.
Yep. So May 14th of next year.
Exactly 1 year from today, when you guys are watching this video as it goes live, we are gonna get married. May 14th of 2025 is when we are going to get married, and when this one is going to become Mrs. Dakota Vasquez.
Yep.
So we would like to open this cruise up to you guys. If you guys want to join us on this cruise, you guys are more than welcome to. By no means is this going to be a group cruise. We will be planning an official group cruise in the future where it will be a much bigger deal, but you know, the general public, anyone who is on the ship is more than welcome to stand in the atrium on the upper levels and watch the wedding. So if any of you guys want to book this cruise, join us and be a part of the wedding ceremony in the audience, not like down ground level with the friends and family, but be a part of the audience, then go ahead and do that. We would love to see a bunch of you guys on that cruise with us, celebrating our wedding and just having a ball with us. But yeah, I think that about does it for this video. I know a lot of you guys have been eagerly awaiting our wedding announcement and wanting to know all the details. A lot of you guys have been speculating that we were gonna get married on a Disney ship, and at first we were kind of like, we don't really know, but for the reasons that we gave a little bit earlier, it was kind of a no-brainer for us, and it was kind of the best decision that we could make as far as getting married. But I want to thank you all so much for watching today's video. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and drop a comment down below. Let me know what you guys thought about today's video. And if you guys have ever been married on Disney Cruise Line or on the Disney Wish, drop your comments and experiences down below as well. I would love to get all the insight and as much info as possible before, you know, we really get into the thick of planning for this wedding. But anyways, guys, I hope you are all having a wonderful day, morning, afternoon, evening, and I'll see you guys in the next video.